Ed Nye, the security guy, here with another security brief. Last time we talked about risk and how we're meant to take risks for the kingdom. And some of you may hear this and believe that I'm advocating that we should all live lives on the edge of danger in the same way that a daredevil or a stunt person might. But as I said last time, risk is not the same thing as threat. Rather, it's moving into an uncertain future in faith, believing that God will work all things together for the good. Now, even though you've probably considered this, global workers might be seen as people who are living on the edge. We all take risks simply by virtue of who we are and how we've chosen to follow Christ. There are risks inherent in the cross-cultural life that we lead in carrying out this portion of the mission of God. Some of those risks might be obvious, others less so. There are places where global workers may be in danger of being taken captive, whether by criminals or government agencies, simply for carrying out their calling. Others of us are called into areas of high crime or where we may be exposed to toxic pollution, parasites, tropical diseases, or places with limited access to quality health care or education for our children. But some of the risks are less apparent. Global workers are specifically called to be strangers in a strange land, as Abraham and his family were. We're quite literally the temporary residents and foreigners that Peter referred to in 1 Peter 2:11. By moving to a foreign country and context, we make ourselves cultural outsiders and become vulnerable in a way that others are not. Now, initially, we will experience loneliness and homesickness because of the difficulty of forming new attachments and finding friends. This will lead us to experience cultural stress in a way and to a degree that none of our family members or peers will likely ever experience. And we do it for the sake of the gospel and because of our global calling. Now, responding to this call is done for the sake of Christ. We don't risk for the sake of risk. As author Anna Hampton puts it, to be chosen to risk means one is chosen by Christ and risks for Christ for no other reason than being called. Men and women who've been chosen to risk do so because of a clear calling from God. That's why the mission statement of AGWM Security Office is to equip and empower global workers with the theological framework and resources necessary to confidently evaluate and wisely navigate risk in alignment with God's call. So to sum up, we take risks as global workers that other believers likely will not. But we do so not for the sake of risk, but for the sake of Christ and in obedience to his call. See you next time.